Have you ever attended an art exhibition and then you stare so hard at the painting and you're wondering, what is everybody saying in this painting that I cannot see? Everything looks so abstract to you. Well, there's no art that is meaningless. Art communicates. Art is a form of expression. Everything you see on that canvas has a meaning. It's hidden in science, and the viewer, the audience, is expected to be able to interpret the meanings, but you cannot have the meanings to this science if you don't have the knowledge. Semiosis is the process of generating signs so that you can subsequently produce meaning from them. Semiotics is the study of this science and the interpretation of the science. Christian Metz, the film scholar, developed a framework for the understanding of science and their meanings in cinema, and there are four signs or codes that he came up with: indexical codes, convention, symbolic codes, and enigma. Indexical codes are generally accepted signs that we see that can be easily recognized by the audience. For instance, if I do this, it means an okay, yeah? When you see smoke, that's a sign that there's fire looming, or there's an impending fire going to happen. When the phone rings, there's a call on the end of the line. And also, right from time, filmmakers have hidden some meanings in codes, and they expect the audience to be able to decipher this meaning. So usually there are two components in semiosis. The signifier is the actual object that has the meaning, that represents the meaning, and then the signifiers is the meaning that you generate from the signifier. So for instance, like I mentioned earlier, smoke is going to be the signifier, and then the signifier will be this fire. So when you're watching the film, you tend to actually piece together this information. Like I said, film is a visual medium and it's supposed to show you, not tell you. So it's good to give you clues. You are expected to be able to decipher these clues as you watch the film with attention. In Editi Effiong's The Black Book, he made use of some beautiful indexical codes. And for instance, we get to meet Paul Edima, the hero of the film, or should I say the anti-hero of the film, in the first act. And in one of the earlier scenes, as he stands talking in a particular room, we see the sign of the cross, wooden cross behind him, about 2 or 3 wooden crosses behind him. And as he speaks, the distance between he and the crosses show that he's a man of faith, the man of the Christian faith, and obviously he's preaching in a small community church. But after he experiences a tragedy, we see that he's stuck in his room for a long time, and even though there's light around him, the light doesn't get to him. So his room is consistently dark while his environment is filled with so much light. That shows you the state of his mind. So it's not even allowing the light around him to get to him because of grief. So subsequently, we get to understand the new state of his faith and his walk with his God when we now see a different composition of himself and the wooden cross. Because this time around, unlike before where the wooden cross was behind him and there was a close proximity between himself and the cross, this time around, there's that on-screen distance between himself and the cross, and the scene subsequently ends with him walking away, meaning that he's going to enter a new phase as the story progresses, as from a man of faith to a man of vengeance. And then in a related event, subsequently we see another indexical sign where we are faced with the point of view of a double-barrel gun or something like that, when one of the officers who was responsible for the tragic event that happened to Paul in the movie was actually murdered. But we can see what's going on from the point of view of 2 barrels that are shaped like the pistol that was eventually used to shoot this police officer. These are indexical signs, beautiful. It makes the cinematography of the film even more beautiful. It's both on the director and the cinematographer to be able to properly hide these codes and allow the audience figure them out as they watch. Semiosis in cinema is beautiful. The more you understand it, the more you're able to utilize it as a filmmaker, and the more you understand it, the more you're able to decipher these codes as a film viewer, as a cinephile, and it makes the viewing experience even more pleasurable.